Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with On the Fly Review for you, and today I'm talking about Don't Breathe 2, released last weekend, starring the great Stephen Lang. This is the sequel to 2016 horror, home invasion horror movie about three teenagers who break into the house of a blind man, not knowing just how dangerous and evil the blind man whose home they've broken into is. The sequel here picks up about a decade later, still in a decrepit, decaying Detroit. The blind man now lives with his new daughter, and if you didn't see the first movie, let's just say the best way to assume he came across this little girl is not good. You know, he didn't have this child himself. He is, but he's raising this girl to be a survivalist. Where at the same time, there's lots of reports on television about child abductions in the area and stuff like that. And these men have been eyeballing this house, their house, seeing nothing but this old blind man to protect this little girl who's more or less homeschooled. So, yeah, man, they try to steal this kid, and there's twists and turns and there's surprises. A lot of them are more obvious than others, to be honest with you. Now, where I do like the film is different, but stylistically similar enough to the original film to feel like a real sequel. And like I said, I do like how they didn't do the exact same movie. This is, but at the same time, trying to make an anti-hero out of the blind man when, dude, he's a kidnapper, a rapist, and a murderer. This isn't it. This wouldn't have been a fucking hero in the Wild West. Shit, man, this is a monstrous character. A monster. His false sense of morality makes him, he's just another Jigsaw type, So I kind of felt like conceptually this was the wrong way to go with this movie. I would have much rather preferred a sequel, maybe a story about his original biological daughter and what exactly was the instance that drove her away from him. We know that her character is dead by the time we get to Don't Breathe because of the events of that film. But there's just no way getting around it that this is not a character you turn into a hero. They even made a movie about Joker. But Joker's not the good guy. He is a monster. He's still the film's villain. You know what I mean? And same problem you had with Disney's Cruella from the beginning of the summer, which was a very well made, very good movie, in all honesty. And so damn competent, looks good, moves well, and good acting. That's like you kind of overlooked that they're trying to make a sympathetic character out of a lady who wants to skin puppies. Ultimately, I'm gonna give Don't Breathe 3.5 stars because as much as I really did enjoy this movie, I thought it was very violent. I've always loved Stephen Lang. I've been a fan of this since I was probably my daughter's age, whenever the Hard Way came out. Ever since he played Party Crasher, I've been a fan. And, yeah, man, it's just, it's not that I didn't like the movie, it's not that it's a bad movie, because I did like the movie, and it's a good movie, but, it's icky, you know what I mean? I really question whether or not they should have even made this film. In fact, my only real problem with the original movie was I kind of felt them not killing him off at the end of the film was forced just so they can have a sequel. And then have a sequel here, he's the fucking hero. The concept hurts the movie, almost ruins the movie. But I did enjoy it. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If not, whatever, I don't care. I'm going to try to do a couple more of these today. I'm a little bit behind. I got a bit burnt out last week. Had a lot going on. I do want to point out that I will not be doing a recap for this weekend's SummerSlam or the TakeOver following the next night. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a while because, look, I stayed on with WWE and AEW during the pandemic era, pretty much because there's not much to do, not much else to do. The treatment of the talent in both companies, I'm really not liking right now. So, kind of out of protest, I don't want to get any. I mean, I don't get a lot of streams. A lot of views. My videos aren't fucking monetized. Nobody's making money off of anything I put out here, okay? So, but nevertheless, I don't really want to promote companies I'm really down on right now. Vince McMahon firing people left and right, virtually for no reason, is, I think, shameful, even despicable. I mean, he ran off Dean Ambrose and Chris Jericho. He fires guys like Rusev and Andrade and Aleister Black. And SummerSlam's this weekend, right? 2 days away. It's 2 days away. I forgot what day it was. So the Wednesday-Thursday thing. But last year's main event was Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. And both those guys have been fired since. So what is the incentive to get over, to be better, to even main event, if you're just going to be scrap metal in a few months? It's just, and these weren't just any regular guys. These weren't dudes who made their name out in other indie companies like New Japan and shit. These were fucking Vince McMahon pet projects, and just throws them away. Done with them. And then with the whole thing with Tony, I'm more pissed off at Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes. Hey, come to AEW. It's basically the first wrestling union. We don't have scripts. You're in control of your character. You can feud with who you want to. But God fucking forbid Max Caster pisses off Brandy and Cody's SJW sensibilities, because then he's gone. By the way, fuck Simone Biles. Bilez, whatever her name is. I understand an injury. I understand a mental health disorder. I understand not wanting to compete because you realize you're not at your top gear and you don't want to hurt your team. However, she quit. She went home. She walked out on her goddamn team. And I've seen high school players break their damn leg in the first goddamn game and still on the sidelines supporting their team every goddamn game until they can get back in it. Fuck that woman. A little side rant. But that's why I'm not supporting these companies anymore, because they do not support their wrestlers. I will probably still do my old school wrestling videos every month, and ever since they've gotten back to the live crowds, I really haven't enjoyed watching wrestling, because these crowds are so fucking white hot every week, every show, no matter what company it is. They're just so happy to have wrestling back. But at the same time, what these companies are doing are pissing me off. And none of anything I just talked about for the last 3 minutes had anything to do with Don't Breathe 2. But thanks for listening to that rant anyways, because I guess it doesn't involve my channel. So there's maybe 20 people who gave a shit if they watched it. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.